seeing is because there's a story just come in that Sevilla are looking for him in January as well. There's not going to be a shortage of takers for Zirkzee, but this needs to happen. I was reluctant to sort of make this statement in the summer because there was a lot of positivity around Zirkzee. He'd been injured at the end of the season. He'd actually done well between January and the injury. We saw all the US tour stuff. He was there with the camera phone for Snapdragon, doing all the promotion. Looks like he was a really, valuable member of the squad. Everybody liked him. And I don't think that's changed. But I felt it was the wrong. Some people were saying we should be getting rid of Zirkzee in the summer, and you've been proven right. But I felt it was too early to do that because I felt the indication was that he was actually quite valued at the club and that, he seemed to be well liked. He seemed to be very, very happy. What we've seen is that Amorim doesn't value him at all. He doesn't value him at all. There's more than opportunity to use Zirkzee, and he doesn't do it. So whether you like it at Man United, whether your teammates like you or not, he does need to get out. Probably more than Mainoo. Mainoo's 20. Mainoo's from the youth. Zirkzee's not. So I think Zirkzee does need to get himself out as soon as possible. Whether it was a mistake to sign for Manchester United, I think circumstantially it's difficult. I don't feel it was the striker that United wanted. Anyway, I don't think Ten Hag particularly wanted him. I don't think the club particularly wanted him. I think they needed a striker, and that was the best they could get. He's had a few injuries. We've had a change of manager. And yeah, I agree with Hullet on that one. I think he's got to get out ASAP for his own career. But what I would say is, and just to hit Mainoo into this, is that story coming in from Sky Italy or Sky Germany or something like that this morning that a move to Napoli is getting closer and closer for Kobbie Mainoo, and that Manchester United would also be looking to potentially put an obligation to buy into that. Now, that's probably going to cause a bit of a meltdown in the chat this morning. But, I mean, it doesn't necessarily surprise me. And obviously, we're still, 5-6 weeks away from this being that potentially happening. But once the internationals that breaks out of the way, we're going to be on a fast track to January. There's actually a lot of games going on between December and January, and we've got the AFCON coming as well. So all this is coming on the horizon, and it's all going to come to a head very, very quickly. I just wonder, if you're Mainoo, do you fall into the trap of, it's the AFCON, I might get a few minutes here, but when everyone's back, I'm back where I was? Or do you just go, no, I want to go? That's going to be a big, big key. Also, very, very importantly, is if conversations about an obligation to buy come in, that becomes, look, I'll be very, very clear here. There is no way back for Rashford or Rasmus at Manchester United, even if they both compete for the Ballon d'Or. They're not coming back to Man United, because when the club put an obligation to buy in there, that's basically them saying, we don't want them back. You're not part of our plans. And if they're not part of the plans, that means they're not part of the manager plans. So the minute Mainoo goes somewhere with an obligation to buy is the minute we understand for definite that the club, i.e. Amorim, do not want Mainoo to be part of it. So I would expect, if he does go on loan with an obligation to buy, that's basically it, unless Amorim gets the sack. Now, my problem with that is that, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree, is that I just don't feel Mainoo's ever really been given a chance by Amorim. And I don't think 20-minute cameos here and there or starting against Grimsby is a chance. I really don't, when you compare it to the chances that Bruno's been given, or Luke Shaw's been given, or Casemiro's been given, or Delot's been given. So I'd be quite, annoyed if we let Mainoo go with an obligation to buy, because that's basically a big indicator that, Amorim doesn't rate him.